What's up, YouTube family? Thanks so much for watching. We're here for Acro Fundamentals Lesson 8, starting with our warm-up. Okay, Winnie is just demonstrating a few things here for you. We are doing 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. You want to check your lesson plan for all of the detailed skills that we are doing for this warm-up. Playing soft music or pumping music in the background. It's a song of your choice. All right, we have 30 seconds of high knees. So we want to make sure to get those knees above your waistline and point those toes while doing it. Okay, again, I apologize for the audio mishap that happened for this video and the previous lesson, so I'm doing voiceovers for them. Keep that stomach held in while doing these. Pull that belly button into your spine and point those feet. Come on, Winnie. These voiceovers actually proved a lot better because I could actually cover more content and tips and tricks of the trade than doing it in person with our audio. So, all right, we have 30 seconds of speed skaters. I did not record the 30-second break because obviously there's nothing there for you guys to see. So we're just doing the skills for you here. You want to make sure that you really push off that bottom leg and shoot to travel to the side. Really travel as wide as you can while you're doing these. And it's that opposite arm that goes to the floor to touch. And we're in our plank position into our plank jacks. For these guys, try to make sure that your bum is not bouncing up and down like Winnie's is there a little bit too much. Really try to keep it nice and flat and just move those legs open and closed the entire time. They say that 50% of your acro class should be spent on your hands. So even doing warm-ups like these, weight bearing on your wrist is credit towards that. You can tell that those 30-second breaks get shorter and shorter. Burpees to plank. Okay, sorry, that's a 15-second break, not 30. Don't know what I was thinking. So you don't need to go all the way down into a proper burpee for these, okay, because we're working on cardio. It's a little bit faster and easier for them to get as many of them in as possible by jumping into that plank position. And you can see Winnie's already starting to take a little bit of a hit here, and we are halfway through our cardio list. Donkey kicks. Both feet jump up as high as possible, touching your bum, and you really want to focus on lifting your hips up above your wrists as much as possible. This one's going to burn those quads, guys. You can see Winnie's taking a little bit of strain here. We've been on summer holiday and summer break. Alright, squat jumps, guys. 30 seconds, let's go. You gotta make sure you get that whole foot off the floor. Point those feet and keep your chest up. No leaning forward, right, Winnie? We're dropping straight down and straight up. And guys, I don't mind if you slow down or do the movement a little bit smaller, but you want to try to never stop. Come on, Miss Winnie. Alright, a squat hold for 30 seconds. Make sure that chest is lifted. Make sure that booty is down and those toes are pointing forward. And you always want to make sure that the weight is back in your heels. Make sure you're not using those arms. Hands should be in your chest or on your waist. Last thing, we are coming down onto our hands and our feet. We have some push-ups. You can do any style of these that you like. Make sure those hands, guys, are not too wide. I didn't realize how wide Winnie's hands are until I'm looking at it from this angle. And make sure that that bum is dropped down so we're keeping that straight line in our torso the whole time. And if you were wondering, we are jamming out to Paper Mask right now by Alex Freeman. She was recently in the dance studio with our dancers, and so we've been loving her song. I will link that in the description below for you. Alright, we're coming up into our Eleves, or calf raises. So we have really touched on nearly every single major muscle group in the body for your warm-up. Keep those ankles together. Make sure we don't go over the pinky toe. Keep it over the big toe, and those ankles should be touching. Even mine are flaring out a little bit too much. Shake those legs out. Good job, guys. All right, it's time to go into a little warm-up stretch. We're taking it down to the floor into that extension stretch. What I'm saying here is we want to make sure that we keep that hip down and keep your bum on the floor as much as we can. So you can see she needs to straighten her knee and engage her quad a little bit more, and she needs to point those toes. But she's feeling it. She's getting a stretch, even though she might be a little bit slightly out of whack. We will keep working on that. Okay, Winnie's gonna hold her left knee into her chest, and we're gonna extend it straight up to the ceiling. I'm gonna pull that hip down as much as possible. And you can see we still need to get her to stretch the back of the knee. There she goes. And come on down. We're going to do the same thing to the side. You can see she's not happy with me right now. So we take that right leg up, squeeze the knee, point the toes, carry it to the side. See how the way I'm hooking her bottom leg there? My knee is on the one side, my toes wrap around inwards. That's going to keep their bottom leg nice and stable. Okay, make sure you do both right and left. So moving into feet, all right? This is still a part of our stretching, and I feel like a lot of dance teachers don't realize or just don't think to stretch their dancers' feet, and it's really, really important for me because I didn't have a dance teacher that did that, and I had bad feet, so I had to work extra hard at that part of my body. So I make sure that I spend a little bit of time acknowledging those feet and stretching the dancers' tops of the foot and bottoms of the feet to make sure we can really get those nice lines. You can have a low leg with a beautiful foot, and that looks so much nicer than a high leg with, a biscuit foot. So really make sure we pay attention to those feet. All right, back in contortion, guys. A lot of this is the same as last month, so we're not going to spend too much time here. Your Cobra series is the same. We're going to jump right into our boat pose, and we're going to demonstrate because we do have some different things here. So we come onto our stomach, we're going to lift up into that boat pose, and we hold it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. We're going to beat those legs and cross. Beat, beat, beat. Yes. Try to keep those knees lifted and off the floor, and don't let those hands touch the floor either. And we go into those nice extreme boat rocks. Oh, wait, first we're coming down onto our chest. We're going to lift up those legs as high as possible for 10 times. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a challenging one for Winnie. 6, 7, but she's getting it. 8, 9, and she's going to hold it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, and then we lower. So guys, this is the goal. Eventually your legs will go up there and all the way back down with no rocking and no arms. Okay, rolling over onto our backs, we're going to do sit-ups 20 times. This is different. I wanted to see the way she's pumping her hips, how she was lifting up before she sits down. So you really want to make sure that we do not do that. Keep those hips firmly planted on the floor and curl all the way up and curl all the way down. So like I was saying, we are doing this one to balance out the back work that we've been doing to really just focus a little bit on the core here today. And getting those nice strong stomach muscles. And after these sit-ups, your knee back bends are on your lesson plan, and those are the same as last month. So you guys know what you're doing there. See how she just pumped her hips. Keep those elbows open, lift your chin to the ceiling, all the way up and all the way down. Good job. All right, we're gonna come into straddle circles. So we're circling those legs around, open into our straddle, trying to keep our toes on the floor the entire time, and then lower one vertebrae at a time, adding those beats all the way down. Okay, even Winnie can resist going down a little bit slower on those beats. Okay, you can do this anywhere from 8 to 10 times with your students. They must make sure that those knees stay straight and those toes stay pointed, and really resist rolling down. So we're getting a little bit of that abdominal work in there too. Alright, we're going into our epic split hold, and it is as simple as that. Our arms come out to the side, and Winnie is going to hold this for 2 minutes on the right and on the left. Now I know not everybody's going to have your splits in your class, but just do the best that you guys can. Okay, the next few things are the same in your lesson plan. You go through your entire back bend series, your elbow rocks. Your basket is going to be slightly different, so we're going to talk about that now. Roundabout now, you should be having a few kids, especially your second year fundamental students, that are ready for a teardrop basket. So this is going to be your normal basket, and we're going to lift those toes up to the ceiling, and we're going to keep our head looking forward. We don't want to take it to the back yet. So Winnie's going to do that again. So you'll see a little bit more, she's getting into that teardrop position. So that's your teardrop basket. Back bends from standing and chin stands are the same, so we bypass that today. We're going to go into our balancing. The new part for balancing would be your full headstand in the center of the room. So you can see you can go through your pike headstand, or you can pull it into tuck headstand and extend it all the way up. So Winnie's going to squeeze those knees, and we're keeping them slightly in front of her body. If you can see, that's her safety place, to make sure she doesn't fall backwards and she doesn't put the feet back down on the floor in front of her. So you want to make sure that those legs are pointed straight. Squeeze those knees, and we don't want to be back there because that's when we're going to fall backwards. Okay, and then staying in front again with her arms, all of the weight is bearing in her elbows, so that's her safety place. Eventually, when you become more advanced, you can get right on top of that head and hold it in that perfect line position, but we will work towards that. So your scorpions, everything else in balancing was the same. All right, technique and drill. We are moving on into our front leg extension series, which is a beast one, guys, but I love it. Okay, so our torso doesn't move, our shoulders stay nice and tall. Okay, no leaning forward and backwards. We're in tendu. We do 10 leg lifts, nice and slow, straight up and straight down. Now you might be thinking, why are we in parallel if we're dancers? Because acro is done in that parallel position. If you have your feet turned out in first position, you're going to a lot of the times fall because you need your toes in front of your ankles in order to stand nice and tall and stay balanced there. So we have 10 lifts slow, and we have 10 a little bit faster. And now we're holding it there with Winnie for 10 seconds with a straight knee, both supporting leg and working leg. We pull it into passe and extend for 10 times. All of these are things 10 times each. Yes, keep that chest lifted and lean into the leg slightly. Straighten that bottom supporting leg. It's burning. And then we tendu to finish. Okay, make sure you do your other side too, and you can see by Winnie collapsing that it can be a difficult one, but it's going to be so great for their extensions as your students get older. Alright, so here we go on the left. We have 10 slower up and downs, okay? And be careful not to plop that toe on the floor. You really want to make sure that you just lower it softly. And then we have 10 times a little bit faster. So everything is easy to remember because it's done in tens. Here we go, a little faster. If you do with older students, then your toe and your knee should be hitting your nose one day, right? And we're gonna hold it there, make sure we're squeezing through that leg. And we pull it into passe. Passe and hold 10 times. Good job, guys. Really try to also lift that knee up nice and high. Traveling and tumbling. We don't do too much here, guys, because everything is exactly the same as last month. Okay, you've got your pike rolls, inside outs, one-handed cartwheels, standing round offs, and your front and back kickovers. So we're gonna jump right into partnering. For partnering, we have our continuous partner cartwheels. So last month we just did the one person so that we could get into the swing of it and see what it feels like. Now we're gonna continue that. So the back person is really going to wrap around their waist right into this position a lot more. Now if Winnie stays in her straddle and points her toes, as she were to go put that foot down, I would kick off of that back leg and tuck my head and go into that cartwheel. Okay, so the base on the bottom is always going to have the harder lifting job in these partner cartwheels. So you always want to put your stronger girl as the base first and your flyer as the one doing the cartwheel first. Okay, so how I would spot this is if Winnie is in this position, she has her partner up in her air and she's holding her waist like this, and that those legs are extended out to the side in their straddle, right? Okay, and she's about to go in cartwheel. If I were the teacher, I'm going to take my hands and place them on their hips like this, just as if I were spotting a regular cartwheel. And I'm going to help lift and place down, and then help lift and then place down, doing the same thing across the mat with them. It's a lot easier than it looks, guys, and you know, just make sure you're doing it with a teacher or a partner or parent. Okay, deep stretching is also the same as last month, so really take some extra time to do those. If you guys have any questions or comments, pop them below, and we will see you next time for lesson 8. Thank you.